going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Sportorium podcast. For this episode, we're going to go over all the trades that happened at the trade deadline. Absolutely insane deadline. Most trades ever on one singular day in the NFL. Crazy. Obviously, other ones that happened before that too, but we're going to get into every single one of them, talk about the winners and losers of the deal. Yeah, we're up. Start it off.
So first one we got, this one kind of happened a couple of weeks ago, kind of went under the radar because I don't really think he's played much, but it was Deion Jones to the Browns for a 6th-round pick next year. He's not really good anymore, so.
Yeah. Is he still, injured? Has he played?
I don't think he's played this year.
Yeah.
I don't honestly think he played last year either.
Yeah.
Maybe he did, but I don't think he's been relevant since, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he hasn't been great.
That's kind of in the past, just brought it up because it still happened, but
yeah. The Browns definitely needed the linebacking help, but whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. And then I think the next one after I think was Robbie Anderson, because that was also a while ago.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just we all saw him trying to fight his coaches. So
yeah, I'm honestly surprised they got a 6 and a 7 for him though.
Yeah, I mean 6 next year and a 7 in 2025. So who cares?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not going to mean anything.
Wow. Trash. I didn't even realize that 7th was in 2025.
Yeah, a lot of the trades had picks in 2025.
Yeah, it's weird to see that.
So it's that's another one. I don't think he's really done much either. I'm just going to talk about it because it happened.
I don't really like that for the Cardinals, though.
I don't think
he's going to do anything.
He doesn't add anything.
He doesn't add anything. He's just kind of an extra guy in case someone gets hurt, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess their thought process was replace the Marquise Brown because he's hurt.
Yeah, kind of, but I mean, whatever. He just wanted off the Panthers, and I guess the Cardinals were really the only team he tried. After that, we got another one that was over a week ago, Jonathan Hankins, and a 7th next year for a 6th this year, or 2023, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
it's just
another one
depth piece.
Just a depth piece, yeah.
So,
not really much to say about it.
Good deal for
defensive
both,
tackle, whatever.
Just rotational guy.
Yeah. After that, those were ones that happened I think 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But now we got into the ones that actually going to impact someone in the season. The first one was Robert Quinn, obviously, for a 4th next year.
As I've had time to let this marinate in my brain, I think it's not a terrible deal for the Bears, honestly, because
it's definitely not.
Yeah, I feel like they could have got a 3rd though.
He's older now, so
yeah.
I think he only also has 1 or 2 sacks this year.
Yeah, he hasn't played great this year.
So it's that's another one. It's he'll probably be pretty good for the Eagles. He'll add to their already good defensive line. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. They restructured his contract, so he's a free agent next year. So
it's a 4th-round pick. So if it doesn't work out, whatever.
Yeah. But Eagles are all in for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So why not?
And then the next one was obviously probably maybe the biggest one so far that we got was CMC for a 3rd, a 2nd, a 4th, and a 5th.
Yeah. We touched base on this.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
We saw how it played out this week.
Yeah, exactly.
For the first actual game with him with a full workload.
Yeah.
And it'll probably only keep going up from there.
Yeah. They gave up a lot, but
it was worth it. It was worth it, in my opinion.
I would say so.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
That's was probably one of the more fair trades at the deadline.
Yeah. Some of these trades were just so dumb.
A lot of them were just kind of teams getting rid of players.
Yeah. And this was Panthers getting a lot in return. Obviously getting rid of probably your best player, but they got a decent haul in return.
All right. So next we got the Jets getting James Robinson for a 6th round in 2023. This was obviously Breece Hall replacement. Kind of out of nowhere.
There was a bunch
obviously we kind of saw him losing his role to ETN, so it's not that surprising. But no one really talked about him getting traded, and then it kind of just happened.
Yeah,
hasn't really played much yet for them.
Yeah, we'll see how it.
But we'll see how it goes as we get more into the season.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal for both sides, though. I mean, I don't think you're going to get more for.
Yeah.
We saw what Naheem Hines got traded for, which we'll talk about in a sec. And if Kareem Hunt was going to get traded for a 4th. A 6 that could turn into a 5.
I think that's fair then, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I'm happy. I think because Michael Carter was going to get a lot of the, load now, and now the pressure's a little off of him. And James Robinson's a young guy, so.
It's also another one, if it doesn't work out,
it's a
6th-round pick.
I mean, it's not a big deal because we're going to get Breece Hall next year anyway.
So I mean, and Breece Hall and James Robinson next year would not be a bad duo.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
So. See how it goes.
I like the move for both sides.
Yeah, it was fun. And then next we got Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs for a 3rd and a 6th. both
Yeah.
in 2023.
I was kind of out of nowhere too.
That was-
like, I was
I
just
mean,
like at work and I was
There
like, what?
was definitely rumors about
Yeah, I
Tony
know.
being moved, but
Especially
it was
to the
kind of like
Chiefs.
quiet.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
low key.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they gave up that much, honestly.
Yeah, like a third is like a little. I thought they could have got it for a lot less.
I
mean, like,
think
the
it's
guys-
just because he
and
was a
wanted-
first rounder.
Yeah, I mean he's really good too. It's just like he hasn't played that much to really like know, I guess. But
Yeah.
when he does play and has the ball in his hands, he's making plays. And
It's
like,
also not really his fault. They kind of
Yeah,
just
no.
kept him out for no reason.
and that's like a huge like he fits in like perfect like with the
Yeah.
Chiefs offense.
I
so-
thought they were going to
I'm-
draft him.
and I think he's going to be returning punts. So
Yeah.
Coming out of the draft, he looked like a player who would fit them.
yeah,
It's-
It
yeah, I-
probably will work
but
out.
I don't know. The third it was third and the
Third and the
sixth,
sixth in
I don't
2023.
know. The third was a little. We'll see. It could work out, or it could be like, oh, that was.
He
a
definitely has
stretch.
very high upside. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
if he turns out playing very well, then you'll look at like a third and a sixth and be like, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I
We'll
think
see how it
that's a
goes.
good haul for the
Yeah, that's definitely a good
Giants,
trade
though.
for the Giants too. I'd say it's
Yeah.
fair for both sides, like assuming Kadarius Toney works out for them.
yeah.
But
Just
we'll
he's gotta
see.
stay healthy and
He'll
that's pretty much it.
he's probably going to play Sunday night.
Yeah, he's gonna be
so we'll
playing.
see how much he plays.
yeah. They said they're gonna like
And-
ease him into it.
yeah.
but
Yeah,
Don't really need to force it.
He's got 3 years left on his contract. It's a pretty
Yeah.
like, cheap contract considering he was
Yeah.
a somewhat late first rounder.
Yeah, we saw what he
So-
did last year, and that was like one game he
Yeah, the
actually got the
Cowboys.
ball. Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
That's really like the only game he actually ever got the ball in that he played.
Man, he
And
looked
we
great.
saw what happened then. Next one, we got a big defensive trade was Roquan Smith to the Ravens for a second and a fifth. Pretty fair value, I'd say, on both sides, considering he's going into free agency and he's going to obviously get a big deal, whether it's the Ravens or someone else.
And the thing the Ravens now I think are gonna face at the end of this year, who are they gonna franchise tag? Lamar or Roquan Smith?
Or are they just going to sign them both?
Yeah.
Yeah, which they should, but
They definitely should, but I mean, they haven't really shown a willingness to want to pay Lamar yet. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
I think that was a great trade for the Ravens though, because he's now obviously like the quarterback of that defense, and it lets Patrick Queen be more.
Patrick
of
Queen
like
was
a-
it's like he's fine, but
he's like a
Roquan adds like a
blitzing-
whole new level.
Yeah, so it's going to open up stuff for Patrick Queen because he was never like at LSU. He was never like to
Yeah.
scan the field and react. He's just like you see something, you blitz or you go. So I think
It's just
that's
going to add a whole nother level and make it all easier for
yeah.
the entire defense.
Roquan is arguably the best linebacker in the league. Right
If
now.
he's not one, he's right up there.
He
yeah,
hits
at
hard.
least top 3. He's just
He's
great all around.
He's good in
So,
coverage. He's good at run defense. He's good at everything. So
Yeah, I think it
can't
was
really ask
good
for much
trade
more there,
all around. Yeah, Bears got some pretty decent value with that second.
especially
Ravens
for him
obviously
going
got-
into free agency.
Yeah, that's
I'd
a
say it's
really
fair.
big factor.
Yeah, I'd say it's fair for both sides.
Yeah.
Next one, we got probably the most out of the blue trade, which
That
is
was-
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
And it was also kind of weird because it was TJ Hawkinson, a fourth and 2/4, one
Yeah.
in 2023 and 2024 for a second and a third.
And especially that it's to the Vikings.
Especially like
Yeah,
in
it's the
division
weirdest
trade,
part.
maybe like if it's an in division trade, usually you got to look like, yeah, we want a little more from you.
Yeah.
But then they
which-
gave up him and 2 fourth rounders. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
kind of weird. So
he
I
obvious-
think that trade's probably the most lopsided one of all.
it probably is.
I think it is.
It's weird though, because like Hawkinson obviously has not lived up to his draft position.
No, he hasn't, but
he's still good.
he's still very
Yeah.
good, and he just adds another weapon to make it easier for Jefferson, Thielen, Cook.
I mean, he's still a top tight end.
Yeah, he's definitely top
Top 5.
top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
I'd say he's
at least top 5 talent.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
like
maybe he hasn't produced
Waller
as
is-
well, but especially in this offense,
yeah.
he should be very, very good.
He'll get plenty of opportunities.
Well, that one game this year, he got the ball a lot.
Yeah, he had like
popped
180
off.
yards or something.
Yeah, he had like
Yeah.
2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
a 2-point conversion.
So I think Vikings pretty clearly won this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be a huge
I think that'll be a good one.
upgrade for them.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's weird seeing in division trades. We saw Patriots and Dolphins made one for Devontae Parker,
Yeah.
and I think for like a 3rd round pick. So it's like you kind of gotta. Usually, you see like in division trades, you want a little more,
Mhm.
but it's just weird to see. Don't
And we
get it a
saw
lot.
them. We saw them make a trade during the draft. They kind of Vikings pretty much handed Jamison Williams to the Lions. So
Yeah,
they're like, "Hey, we let you have one. You let us have one now." So
yeah, it's just kind of weird, but I think it'll be
Yeah.
fine. Lions do get a couple good picks. Vikings get a good player, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Next, we got another very weird one. Chase Claypool to the Bears for a 2nd rounder.
if the TJ Hawkinson isn't the most lopsided, then this is. I do not
Yeah.
understand how Chase Claypool holds so much value in the league.
I mean, they said for weeks that they wanted a second. I was kind of surprised they got
Yeah,
it, but
very
clearly
surprised.
the league values him more than
Dude, a third probably is too
we
much.
see him.
I would say, I mean, he was
Yeah,
a
I'd say like a
second-round pick.
fourth.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would expect. Or at
really
least like
done
a
anything.
fourth.
He
Exactly.
had a good rookie year.
Yeah, like he was solid, but like he's not really an elite separator.
No, he's not.
Not the
He's
best
a very
jump
good
ball
contested.
guy.
He's,
He's, like,
he's
physical.
good at contested catches.
He
but
hasn't been this year I mean, his rookie year to now, he's definitely just not
His
the same.
QBs are also trash right now.
Yeah, so that's
He doesn't
definitely
get the
something that's part of
opportunity
it.
really for anything.
Yeah,
which
I
is
mean,
also
Justin Fields. It's like
exactly.
It's
the field's been looking better. He's kind of needed a
he's looking
more
better.
physical guy because, like, you look at who he had. He had like Mooney, Equinemi, St. Brown. You have guys like that who like they're good, they're quick, but you don't have a guy who, like you could just kind of throw it up to.
Yeah, he definitely needed to get a guy, and props to the Bears for getting him a dude that like he's a solid player. I just did not expect Chase Claypool to
No, I
have
didn't
that
either.
much value. But if other teams, because like apparently the Packers offered a second too, like if that was his value, then yeah, great trade. You get your young quarterback.
It
a
seemed
receiver.
like it was his value. I couldn't tell you why, but for
He
some
has-
reason,
he has a lot of potential. That's pretty much the only thing.
yeah,
So,
I don't know, but we'll see
we'll
how
see.
it goes.
Yeah, it's also
Definitely
weird.
the best receiver he's ever had. Fields.
Yeah, other than N'Keal Harry, of course.
Yeah, and in
That was
college.
that was a
but
given.
next, we got another big one. Bradley Chubb and a 5th-round pick to the Dolphins for a 1st, a 4th, and Chase Edmonds.
I can understand it's an expiring deal, but why do you even want Chase Edmonds if you're the Broncos?
I mean, just because
understand.
their
probably just
running back
tossed in
rooms,
there.
like, yeah, he definitely was a toss in because their running back rooms like decimated by injuries.
But he sucks.
He is
Like,
he is bad.
really, really bad. Like at that point, I would say I would literally rather like a 7th-round pick than Chase Edmonds.
literally. What's the point? Like
There's no point. It's just
like,
probably a
next
toss
year
in where
when
like
it's,
if he looks
he's
good,
back, so.
good. If he looks bad, cut him.
Yeah. I also just don't understand this trade for the Broncos in general. Like,
They probably just weren't going to pay him.
but like, why not?
I don't know because they
You're
just
kind of
gave
in a
Russell
w-
Wilson 250
Yeah, they're
million.
scared.
Well, yeah,
Well, yeah,
but-
pay somebody.
You're in like a win now mode. Obviously, they still have
100% are.
Yeah, I mean, even if their team's not good right now, they have to be in a win now mode.
Yeah,
just
They
based
probably
off-
realized that they weren't going to pay him, or like we'll use the extra first.
Yeah, I mean,
to try
What's
and
their
draft
record
someone.
now?
so quick.
They like might not
They're
make
either
the
3-5
playoffs.
or 4-4.
They actually might not make the playoffs. It's not even something crazy to say because the Chargers
three-
are ahead
they're
of them
three.
too, right?
3-5.
Yeah, They're 3 and
They're
5.
3-5. Dude, they might miss the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's
They're in
probably
win
why
now
they did it.
mode.
They probably just no. I mean, they're supposed to be in win now mode, but they probably just said like, yeah, we're probably not
Yeah.
going to win anything. Might as well get a first.
I guess so.
That's
I
the
mean,
only thing I can really say.
Yeah, and the Dolphins, I think they're working on an extension right now.
Yeah, Schefter said that yesterday.
Yeah. So I mean, they
We'll
get
see.
a great player. They didn't give up too much considering what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just trying to build around get some first rounders, build around them. I mean, I don't think they had a lot of picks after the Russell Wilson trade in the first place.
That is true.
They kind of just maybe it's just trying to get some of those picks back,
Yeah.
and not give it another massive contract.
I am not the biggest fan of this one.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird, but I mean,
It
it's probably
also
better
just-
for the Dolphins.
Yeah, no, Dolphins definitely
But-
win this one in my opinion. It
Yeah.
also just makes me angry that the Dolphins get like a great player like that.
Yeah,
Like
whatever.
when Tyreek was laughing playing Fortnite, that pissed me
Yeah.
off.
It made me so angry. It's
It'll
this
just be
evil
all
laugh.
better when they lose in the first round. All right, so we got another Dolphins trade was Jeff Wilson for a 5th.
It helps their run game. So
especially if you're losing Chase Edmonds. And
Yeah, I
honestly,
mean, you're losing Chase Edmonds. Probably you're adding a better running back than
Yeah,
him.
honestly.
he might be better than Raheem Mostert.
I mean, yeah, he'll
He's
probably
solid.
fight for touches there. It's another solid move. Another one where it's like if it doesn't work out, whatever.
That's also weird because you send a 5th. You could have got Kareem Hunt for a 4th.
They just traded their 4th-round pick though.
But yeah, that was a 2024.
Must have tried, right?
Maybe
Yeah,
they
I
were
didn't
just
really
like, yeah, we
hear
don't
much
want.
about Kareem Hunt.
Maybe
though,
they just didn't
from
want
any-
Kareem Hunt. Maybe teams just didn't want him as much as we thought.
Why?
Yeah,
I also
I don't know.
understand.
Because he's a free agent after the year. They probably were like, yeah, why are we going to give a 4th-round pick for a free agent running back? And then Broncos also made another move, Jacob Martin, and a 5th in 2024 from the Jets for 2024 4th. Don't care.
Whatever.
I don't
Like,
care.
I don't
Don't
really
care.
know. Like,
I actually think that the Broncos gave up too much. Jacob Martin is like at
Mid.
best a rotational guy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
care.
like-
He doesn't really.
I mean, you gave a 4th for him and a 5th. Whatever.
Yeah. I feel like that should have been like if you're gonna do a pick swap like that, it should have been like you give up a fifth and then get back a sixth or something. I feel like a fourth is just too valuable for that.
Yeah,
It's also next year, so
doesn't
It
doesn't
just-
move anything for me.
no, It's more.
Yeah.
He did have a sack on Sunday actually, so maybe
Yeah,
that's
their
why.
That's their Bradley Chubb replacement.
Yeah.
Jacob Martin.
Next one was honestly, actually, it's probably weirder than the TJ Hawkinson one, which was Calvin Ridley for a fifth and a second next year at most,
Yeah,
depending
I
on like
think
30 different conditions.
it's so weird because there's so many conditions, and I literally had no idea that you could trade a guy that's
Yeah, I didn't know you
Yeah.
could trade suspended players.
I was so
And then there's
confused.
conditions on like if he plays next year,
Yeah, like if
how
he
much
signs
he
an
plays, if he
extension.
signs an extension. It's like I don't know. It's
Very
too
weird.
complicated. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be a good move for the Jags.
Oh yeah, I think this is a great move for the Jags. Even if you end up giving up the second,
Yeah,
Like-
second, he's probably worth it.
100%.
He's a good receiver.
top 5, maybe top 3 route runner when he's actually
Yeah, look
playing
at the
football.
rumor. Look at the rumors that were
The
there
top
for him
3
for a
sports
first
better.
round pick in the offseason last year before he got suspended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
if you add him next year, it opens up, Christian Kirk too.
What this trade tells me is that the Jaguars realize that Christian Kirk is not what they paid for. He's not a number 1 receiver that's going to carry an offense.
Yeah, no, he's not at all. I mean, I feel like we all said that like when the deal was signed.
Exactly. I'm pretty
Like,
sure every
those-
single person ever, other than like the Jaguars front office, said that.
yeah,
Yeah, but
I don't know
I mean,
how he even did that.
good for him.
'Cause
man.
it
He
was
got
his-
it
And then
done.
he had a good start, and I
it
was
was
like, oh
a
wait, maybe like
master
they.
class by his agent.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
and then he had a good start this year. I was like, wait, maybe like they knew
Maybe they were
something
onto
we
something.
didn't. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
nope, this is who we thought it was. Yeah, but I mean, there's obviously a lot of comparisons to like the Bills going and getting Diggs, or like getting Tyreek for Tua. Obviously, you're
AJ
getting
Brown.
AJ Brown for Hurts, exactly. Like you're getting a playmaker, a fantastic receiver for your young quarterback. This should be very good for them next year.
Yeah, probably will be as long as he doesn't like get suspended again.
Yeah, it's also funny that he bet on the Falcons to beat the Jaguars, and that's why
Yeah,
he
it
got
is
suspended.
funny.
And now he's on the Jaguars.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next. Got Naeem Hines to the Bills for Zach Moss and a fifth.
Yeah. So it's a conditional fifth. I don't know what the conditions are, but it's a 6 that could turn into a 5. At first, I was not a huge fan because I really wanted like Kareem Hunt for a 4th. But looking more into it, I think it's actually a fantastic move. Zach Moss is terrible. He was probably going to get cut. I don't even know how he was still on the roster, to be honest. But Naeem Hines is pretty much what they wanted James Cook to be. And James Cook still could be great.
Yeah, I was gonna
but-
say, I feel like they didn't even really give James Cook like an opportunity.
Yeah.
He like only played when they were like up by a lot.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. And his role has definitely expanded. Like last game during the Packers, we saw he had some pretty good plays. But McDermott said something about him being like kind of questionable in practice and stuff.
Yeah,
So-
that's
and they
also the
also-
thing. We don't know like really what's going
Yeah,
on at
behind the
practice every
scenes.
day and stuff. Like he
Yeah.
could be garbage. He could be fumbling. He could be like just not playing. well.
Exactly. I mean, I really like the trade. Bills don't like to rely on rookies and like rookie mistakes. You're getting a veteran. Naeem Hines is explosive. He is very versatile. Every single Colts fan is like very angry about this move, which makes me feel even better.
But I mean, Hines is talented. He just
He is. And
they
he never
got
got a lot of
Jonathan Taylor,
opportunities.
so
Yeah, just a good move. I think it's just going to open up the offense a lot more. He's an instant punt returner, which is very good for Khalil Shakir, so he could just focus more on his wide receiver duties.
He could sit on the bench.
Nah, he's actually good. So we'll see. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. They didn't give up a lot, so
now we got literally just a pick swap. Basically, Steelers getting William Jackson in a 7th for a 6th. Basically, just swapping picks and sending William Jackson over the Steelers. He sucks
think this is-
anyway.
That's disrespectful to him.
he was pretty bad this year, but like I think he's actually a pretty solid player.
He could be, but I mean,
And-
he's
If anybody's going to like unlock his potential, which he has definitely flashed multiple times, I think the Steelers could do that.
yeah,
And,
they
I mean,
could. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
They're
He
just
wanted out of
swapping picks
Washington,
for like he wanted out.
so I think that's a good trade for
Yeah.
both sides.
We'll see how it goes. And then last two, literally nothing. Got the
Yeah.
Falcons getting a 7th pick for Dean Marlowe, sending him to the Bills, and then
Yeah.
taking a 7th round pick and trading it for Rashad Fenton.
Yeah, well, the Bills obviously dealing with some safety injuries. Micah Hyde's out for the year. Jordan Poyer's banged up. Like DeMar Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson haven't been super good. Marlowe was with the Bills for 3 years, so he knows the whole entire like scheme and everything. I mean, for a 7th, whatever,
Yeah.
that's fine.
and then getting Fenton for a 7th.
I think that's actually a really, really good trade for the Falcons.
I don't know much about Fenton, so
He's pretty bad. I'm gonna be real with you.
But he's like good enough to be I'm not gonna say he's like a CB1, but
Nah,
you don't need him to be. You have
the
like AJ
Chiefs,
Terrell and stuff.
like when he was healthy, he was getting
Jason
like
Hayward.
rotated in. Like he's
Yeah.
and that's kind of like he's rookies are starting over him.
I mean, he's not great, but I mean that works. He's probably not going to see the field now because the rookies for the Chiefs have looked good. McDuffie's coming
Yeah.
back and everything, and he's just going to be a rotation guy for the Falcons. You got Casey
Yeah.
Hayward and AJ Terrell. So
Terrell's hurt though.
yeah,
That's
so
probably why they did it. Just get someone else in there until he comes back, if he comes back. Yeah, that was basically it. That's it for the trades. I mean, couple good ones, couple were kind of just like whatever, just depth pieces. But overall, with the deadline and last offseason, we've had a ton of trades.
Ridiculous, very uncharacteristic of the
trades.
NFL. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Hopefully it
It
keeps
has.
going.
Yeah,
It makes it a lot more fun
it does.
just to see all the rumors, see everything flying around.
Familiar faces and new places. Nice to
It's
see.
an interesting time. So, and then obviously there's just a couple other guys who like names were out in rumors a lot, but didn't get traded. We got Kareem Hunt, Brandon Cooks, Cam Akers. Who else?
Jerry
Judy,
Yeah,
Kendrick Bourne,
Yeah.
Patriots receivers,
Aguilar, yeah, just
Aguilar,
Patriots
Isaiah
receivers.
Wynn. I
Bunch
mean,
of rumors
you
that
don't
never
know
came to
like what was
fruition.
actually true and what wasn't.
Yeah, I swear people just like make
Yeah.
stuff up on Twitter and it gets like spread around. And
Yeah.
then
Like,
it's
you
yeah,
don't
that
know-
didn't happen.
You don't know who actually was trying to get stuff. I did see a bunch of stuff about Judy where people were trying to offer like a second, but they wanted more. Like I saw they wanted a second and a mid-round pick, but nobody would do it.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
blame them.
And then Kareem Hunt, obviously the rumors were a 4th. Nobody gave it up. Maybe they just didn't want to give up a 4th for a free agent running back. So
That's probably the only thing that I can think of.
yeah, I can't think of anything else because he's shown that he could be an RB1. So I don't know about that. And then Brandon Cooks, free that guy, man.
Yeah, he just can't catch a
Feel
break,
bad
man.
for that guy. Guy's
I
been
don't
traded like
understand,
3 or
like-
4 times.
And it's probably not going to be done. I don't understand why the Packers just wouldn't send something over. Like you lost out on Claypool.
They didn't
Why not?
say what they wanted for him. That's not the only team that was like really like serious about him. Was like he was very close to getting traded to the Cowboys.
Cowboys, yeah. Which I
But then
don't
they
really
said that they
understand.
didn't want to.
yeah, it's like doesn't make sense.
They
for
said
the
that
Cowboys.
the deal breaker was that the Texans like wouldn't eat any of the money. It was
Yeah.
like 18 million.
Well, yeah, because like the deadline for that was
The deadline was
Monday or
yeah,
something.
it was
Damn
Monday.
it.
Yeah, I mean it would have been good. He could have kind of like opened things up for CD.
Yeah, and
Michael
Michael
Gallup,
Gallup hasn't
but-
looked super great this
Yeah.
season. but
Maybe in the offseason. I also saw some stuff where they're saying how he's fully healthy, but their listing was questionable because he's just not happy over there. So it's kind of maybe
honestly-
it could get to a Odell type situation
Yeah, 100%.
where he kind of forces his way out.
I don't blame him.
So
either.
I wouldn't be that surprised if we did get to that point.
Yeah,
He definitely doesn't deserve to be rotting there.
no,
He's been one of the
he
most
does not.
consistent receivers in the league. And then you got like Kendrick Bourne, who could have actually been a good piece for a team
Yeah, I'm not
because
that
he had a
surprised
good
that
year
didn't go
last year.
there.
I'm not surprised either. I really didn't want to trade him. I think they should just use him more.
Yeah.
Aguilar, I wouldn't have cared. Isaiah Wynn, I was hoping he was gone, but I mean, I guess with like not a lot of offensive tackle depth, kind of keep him. Whatever.
Yeah, and like Cam Akers, I'm surprised.
Akers,
enough
yeah.
happened there. But then reports came out that the Rams were like turning down offers.
Yeah, because
they
they
wanted
wanted
to
to try
keep
and
him.
fix the relationship, but like he doesn't want to.
But like, he's not good.
Yeah,
Why fix the relationship? You
I don't
have,
know.
Like 2 running backs on your roster that are instantly better than him.
and then I mean
And-
they just don't run the ball either. So
Yeah, that's part.
maybe
of it.
that probably has to like that probably plays a role in it.
Yeah.
Even when he was like technically was the starter, and he's getting like 8 touches a game.
He's not doing
No
much
running
with it.
back's going to want to sit. He's not doing much for it either, but no running back's going to want to sit there like and just suffer through that.
Yeah, that's why I'm
but-
surprised they didn't end up getting Kareem.
Yeah.
Hunt. Or
That wouldn't have
anybody.
surprised me. I did see that they were looking into him.
Also, I think we should mention Alvin Kamara because his name came up a couple times.
yeah,
But Brandon Bean, who's the Bills GM, he pretty much just said that those reports were just dumb.
Fake.
I mean you're
Yeah.
always going to get stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he
But I mean,
he
like
said
if they
basi-
did trade Kamara, I wouldn't have been that surprised.
after that like crazy game, there was no way though.
Yeah, but
What Bean
yeah.
said is that like his scouting department saw like somebody just with a random report said that like Kamara to the Eagles could happen. So they called the Saints and were just like, yeah, is he available? And then didn't get an answer back. And that's how that report came out. So I don't know. There's just a lot of things that some reports just aren't real at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely is a lot. I saw some. Do you remember like when I was looking on Twitter and I was like MIL football account?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened to remember when I sent that tweet where they sent Jamal Williams to the Eagles?
Yeah.
So when an NFL reporter, Benjamin Albright, had like a DM where some random dude sent a DM to that account and said, "I work for the Eagles. We're about to trade for Jamal Williams." And the account was like, "Are you being serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm being fully serious." And the account goes, "You're 100% sure?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And then they go and tweet it.
That is the stupidest thing
I'm
I've ever heard in
draw
my
that to
life.
somebody.
And he was like, he like posted
Should.
to show like, yeah, don't believe most of the shit you see on here.
That's ridiculous.
So
Damn.
I mean, you're always gonna get a lot of rumors that don't come true.
Yeah, especially just like random accounts on Twitter just trying to
Yeah.
get clicks.
That's what a lot of it is. You got to believe the actual reporters. Wait for one of the big guys to send something out. But yeah, that's really it. Went over
Yeah.
everything. A lot of trades.
Great deadline.
Yep.
Very surprised by a lot of them.
Yeah. A lot of good ones.
Trades. A lot of teams got better. A lot of teams are pretty much just packing it up and saying, "Yeah, until next year, man."
Yeah, a lot of teams just standing pat, seeing what they
Yeah.
got. Don't really want to
Yeah.
change anything up.
There's a couple teams like we mentioned, like
Yeah.
Packers should have made a move. Ravens
Definitely
probably should have made a move at receiver.
Rams should have made a move.
Yeah, they should. There's a lot of teams that
Yeah.
probably should have done something.
Wait until the offseason, I guess.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.
See ya.
Peace.